What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Strike Up Beer, quick beer reviews with your pals Alan and Rapid Dave and Rapid Dave.
I'm Alan.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not much. Just living the dream, brother.
It's been a little while.
It's been a minute, but we're back.
Yeah,
Today we were drinking from Deschutes Brewery,
Mhm.
Black Butte, non-alcoholic.
Ah.
So Black Butte is kind of one of their staple beers
Uh-huh.
that they've released, like, I don't know, 20 different versions of or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But we picked up the NA version of it, and let's see what she says here. The journey began at Black Butte. Named for iconic Black Butte, this malt brew delivers balanced drinkability with notes of chocolate and light roasted coffee. It's so similar to the flagship original, you'll be surprised it's not. Contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume. Average score of 3.63 out of 5. On Untapped out at 806 ratings.
Cool. We got a little QR code there. I guess you can find some of their stuff.
Okay.
You're getting a little, how's the eyesight going?
You know,
Buddy,
you got the glare off the cans though. Like the cans,
that's always a whip
that's,
now. Yeah, whenever you,
it's damp a little bit,
yeah,
and you just get the glare, and it's just, you know, you gotta. And we're not as young as we used to be.
I hear you. Employee-owned, family and employee-owned since 1988. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, let's get it. Now, we let this warm up just a hair because, you know, it is a little bit darker beer. You want it to, but it's still really cold.
Yeah. So here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mazel, mazel, good things.
Sounds good. So what am I looking for here?
I'm picking up the coffee notes for sure.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of chocolate?
A little bit. A little bit.
Get that little bit of aftertaste. It's from the NA.
You know what, though? It's not watered down.
Mm-mm.
And you get that with some of your darker non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
That kind of watered down taste. And you're not getting that with
Definitely getting more coffee now.
It's
coffee's
actually
pouring on.
It's actually not bad. Like if this was
I
like a
like
low
coffee.
ABV beer, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah. It's dark, dark, dark. So if you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, you know, you got a very, very dark beer here. If you shine a light to it, get some light going there, you'll have a beautiful amber color. Now the head on it was perfect. I gave it quite a hard pour, and if you swirl it, it does foam back up a little bit. Nice tan head on there. Pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, the shoe
smells interesting though.
It's got a nice smell to it.
Mm-hmm. You smell it like, what is that? Is that the chocolate kind of rising out of there?
I think so, for sure.
It's got to be, right? It's definitely a little bit of coffee, little smell, little hint of coffee, maltiness.
Deschutes Brewery, they're based out of Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
Their average score on their beers is 3.8 out of over 3 million reviews.
Had a ton of their beers
out of
too.
1,515 different beers.
Yeah, we've had a lot of their beers.
So,
I'm glad you found this. You know, I was gonna say grab some. Definitely get in there and see what other like singles and stuff like that you have, because I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of different breweries right now putting out some non-alcoholic beers. I think people they've started to realize there's a base for it.
It's been a minute since I've been to Total Wine and looked at the NA scene there, and they've grown it by a good probably 4 feet.
Another 4-foot section.
Yeah, another 4-foot section.
Even when we were there for dry January, I've seen it obviously in sober October as well. And you know, you start seeing your these brands that you've seen in the other sections finally start kind of creeping over, and the sections, and actually it's quite nice to see that you're getting this variety, because I'll be honest with you, it's like I didn't even want to have a beer tonight, like you know, but we had some NAs. Now we went out, we went somewhere, and then I had a beer while we were out there, but by the time we got back, we had a couple NAs, and then, you know, IPAs from Lagunitas.
Yeah.
And then now we got, you know, some Deschutes, and is this technically a porter?
It's a porter.
So it's a porter.
It's a porter.
So it's gonna have a great, nice, mellow taste. It's gonna be a little chocolatey, roasty, you know, that coffee smell with it. And it's like they're starting to figure. It used to be like, you know, it'd be either watered down or a funny taste, a funky aftertaste,
super hoppy.
And now that these big brewers have kind of figured out,
kind of dialing it in a little bit.
And I really do like it. And now when we first started, there was only a handful. And then, you know, Sam Adams jumped in there. You also had
almost grabbed that Sam Adams.
That hazy's good.
Just the haze. I do enjoy it. But I wanted to get something that I hadn't had yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the section was, again, it's grown. So I was able to find something that I was pretty excited about.
Did you get a sixer, or was this in a four like sixer. Singles? Okay.
Sixer.
Yeah. I prefer to get like if I'm there and I'm kind of rummaging around trying to find some beers and I don't know which one I want yet. Total Wine, it's not a plug, not a sponsor, but they have a great single selection. And along with Lone Star Beverages in Carrollton, great selection when it comes to that. And you get single cans there. So if you don't want to, I don't want to pay $20 for a 4-pack or whatever, a 6-pack.
Right.
Let me get a 1 for a couple bucks, see if I like it.
Yep.
A little taste, a little something for the effort. And
it makes it easy for the quick beer reviews too, right? Because you don't have to go through. Because I remember back in 2008, I did a beer drinking competition with the Knob, and with a lot of that stuff, I was having to buy 6-packs or mixed 12-packs, and just having to buy a lot to have all the different beers.
Yeah.
And there was like at the time, I think like Halls was really like Halls, and then I think like not Central, like World Market would sell individuals, but like Halls, like they had some that were already individual, but like you could break up any 6-pack, but it's going to cost you $4 a beer. Right. And so it was a higher price, and it was just like, it got expensive.
Yeah.
And you can get some beers for a couple bucks individuals. Now, if you're going to get some of your more craft style, your higher ABV, your seasonal stuff, you could drop $10 on a beer, but you can definitely go in there and drop a couple bucks and get some individual beers.
Yeah. Oh, they got some banging bottles in there that'll cost you a pretty penny, or some tall boy cans.
Kroger, you can go and get a mixed 6-pack make your own 6-pack for $11.
Yeah,
$10.99.
Man, I remember the days it was $8.99 and $9.99. Now it's $10.99. But hey, yeah, it's the way it is.
Still a good deal.
Their sections rather limited though when it comes to single cans, but. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't walk over to the big can section, just start jamming 25 ounces in there. I'm sure
I don't have to walk over there. Someone else has already done it, and they're already over there in singles. I'm like, well.
But yeah, I like big fan of the selection. So let's
finish her off
up there. Cheers, y'all out there. Thank you for watching.
But all in all, pretty good, really good NA option, especially if you like those coffee style beers, your porter beers, your darker beers.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good option for you. It gets a thumbs up for me.
Because when you run when all the NAs came out and things like that, you were running into like light lagers, stuff that they can just lighten the hell out of it, right? And it was like, and then finally you started getting some IPAs, and then now this is my first porter that I've had that was an NA.
Yeah.
And so now it's like we're going full spectrum, and it's awesome to have, because if you're looking for something, you just want to like that beer taste, but don't want any alcohol, you have to drive later, you got this or that. There you go. And you can enjoy a beer of something that tastes like a beer. It's a damn beer.
Sit by the fire and drink this.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
And just relax. And you don't have to worry about catching a buzz or being hungover the next day. And, people say it all the time, like, oh, what's the point? I'm like, I like the way it tastes. It's like, why would same reason I drink a Coke. If I'm not drinking water, why am I drinking anything? You know what I mean? So anyway, but yeah, big thumbs up for me. I really enjoy it. This is Deschutes Black Butte, non-alcoholic, contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume. So yeah, there you go. Cheers to you.
Go and get you some. Let us know what you think, or if you've already had it before, tell us what you think about it. But thank you guys again. As always, I'm Alan.
I'm Marty.
We'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.